So this video, I'm actually able to ride both the Beta Cross Trainer and the KTM 300 XCW back to back to get the feel for them both. I noticed some very distinct differences in the two, and we'll get into that in a minute. But this video is more geared towards your average rider. I am an average rider, C-Class. I do a little bit of hair scrambles. I'm just your average guy, weekend warrior, if you will. So if you're looking for a professional guy like Jarvis ripping the trails, this is not really the video for you. But like I said, I'm able to ride both the bikes back to back. We get them in the single track, we get them on the pipe. I have to actually thank Jack for the ability to ride his 2018 Cross Trainer. I really appreciate it. We're literally comparing apples to oranges here. It's a pun, get it? Anyways, let's get this thing going. Like I said, this is first-hand account of what I'm feeling, so let's get this video rolling. I like that seat height immediately. Yeah, immediately. That's the first thing I notice. Oh, this thing's got plenty of power. I was told that it was down on power compared to the 300RR, the KTM 300 XCW, so it's still a 300. It's still got that little burst. We'll wind it out a little bit later and see how far that burst goes. So this is Jack's bike. Like I said, it's a 2018 Beta Cross Trainer. I was actually gonna buy one of these instead of that KTM there. So first of all, the seat height. I'm somewhat of a shorter rider at 5'10", and that's nice. The second thing I noticed right away is the grunt on this thing. I did a little bit of research beforehand, and they said something about how this thing has more grunt than the 300RR and the XCW, the KTM, and yes, it's true, actually. Even more so than I was expecting. Really surprising, actually. It seems like most of the power is low to mid-range, and that's really cool for a bike that's lower like this and designed to be like ridden in slower technical terrain. Now that felt good. Right off low to mid-end grunt there, shot me right up in the air. Oh yeah, this thing is still a 300. Yep, 100%. It's not as violent as my KTM, but it's still violent like a two-stroke. Cool, another +1. Oh, this bike is, this is a good bike. I'm actually starting to fall in love with it. Cool. Yeah, I'm really liking it, like, a lot. Now, one thing I know about these betas is the parts in the dealers aren't readily available, like a KTM or even a Japanese bike. From what I understand, there's only 2 Beta dealerships within 4 miles of me, or I'm sorry, within 4 hours of me. There's only 2 Beta dealerships within 4 hours of my house. Sorry about that. Jack actually had a problem with the rear axle. He got the bike. There wasn't a lot of grease on things, so he went to grease things up. Apparently, like, the axle nut was stripped from the factory. So he contacted the dealer which he bought it from, and they contacted the Beta rep and overnighted him a new axle and nut. So it would seem as if Beta really tries hard to get the parts to you. Now, they might not have it in stock, like going to your local KTM dealer, but you'll get it pretty soon, it seems like. I'll tell you what, the one thing I did notice is the front suspension is soft. compared to my KTM. Back there when I did that full throttle blip, oh yeah, she's got power, but that front end is definitely wallowy. She doesn't like high speed stuff. It got a little squirrely on me, and I think that has to do with how the suspension is kind of, it seems like it's slower to compress and rebound. It seems like it's slower than mine, but I'm not entirely sure of that. But that's just what I feel. I don't know. The suspension definitely feels softer. Makes me kind of think they definitely aimed this thing at the right direction, which is more slower technical stuff. Like trials inspired, it seems like. But you know, that's all personal choice, and I'm sure you can get it revalved and resprung and everything. There are attributes to this bike that I like and attributes to this bike that I dislike. But I don't want to say the punchline right at the beginning of the video, but I think I don't know. It's hard to choose. Let's go get my bike and let's walk through it. Let's talk about it. Wheelie test. Alright, let's get on this beast here. Continue. So, am I happy with my purchase, or should I bought the beta? One thing I did notice on the beta, right away, as soon as I swung my leg over before I started it, is the seat height. And sometimes this KTM is still too tall for me at 5'10". Sometimes when I'm in trouble and I go to dad, right, it's already too late. I'm already going over the handlebars, or I'm already falling over because of the seat height of this. So I think the beta, the seat height on the beta is just absolutely spot on. It's freaking amazing. And I think it still has 12, close to 13 inches of suspension travel. Alright, so on that one, I noticed the suspension is really soft. Like, really soft. And I'm not so much of a fan of that, because I do like to go fast occasionally. And fast as in like a motocross in a flat fire road area. And when you go fast like that, the suspension being soft, on his bike, on the beta, it was sketchy. It was very scary. Now, in that bike's defense, it wasn't really meant for that. It's meant for more trials-inspired riding. I always thought this suspension was soft, but I guess soft compared to a motocross bike, yeah, but soft compared to that bike, no. This thing's hard compared to that bike. I know Barry from Cross Training Enduro did some work on his suspension to make it capable of higher speed stability, plus still remain some of that softness. They work wonders over there with those suspensions. So if I bought the Xtrainer, I may have actually done some suspension work, some actual revalving and stuff like that. It seems after getting off of that, and after getting off the 450 motocross bikes, it seems like the suspension on this bike, the stock suspension, is perfect for me, because I can still do tight technical stuff with ease, but I also have higher speed stability, which you know, is important to me. Like stuff like this, whoops, I'm much more comfortable on this bike doing fast stuff through whoops and stuff. And again, that's because this suspension is harder and it reacts quicker. Now when I say the Beta has more low-end grunt, that's not saying this thing doesn't. This thing's got plenty enough for me and a lot of people. And you still got that. Oh, I overshot that one a little bit. One thing that is nice on that cross trainer that he's got, and mine doesn't, his has got high and low beam horn and all that come a stock from the factory. Mine, you can add it on there. The factory harnesses where you plug it in are installed on the stock bike, but KTM wants you to buy them extra. So his bike, you can pretty much buy a mirror, stick a mirror on it, and you know, tag it. Mine, you have to do work to. You know, it'd take about $400 to get mine 100% street legal, versus him, $15 mirror and you're good to go. So anyways, like I was saying about power, the power of this bike really suits my riding style a little bit better, because I'm a little bit more exuberant with the throttle and revving. But if you wanted something to be able to tractor, more torque, definitely get the cross trainer. The KTM with the red spring on it is violent, like extremely violent. As you see me go through these trails today, I'm literally just off idle. And literally I've got an eighth of a turn on the throttle too. Oh, there's a spitter. There's a spitter. Fucking spiders. I hate them. Look, there's one right there. We don't have a problem with those giant spiders like Shade Tree Surgeon does over in Florida, but look, there's a spider, there's a spider. Oh, I hate it. I hate them. Anyways. Sorry, I don't like spiders. I'm good with snakes and stuff, I just don't like spiders. Because I never know which of those little bastards can hurt you and which of them are just whatever. Alright, so anyways, back to the power thing I'm revisiting. If you were going to ride stuff like this, the Beta Cross Trainer is way better suited because of the tractor factor, if you will. Just saying, watch, I'll give it a little bit of gas. See what I mean? It's just like fucking retarded. Whereas that Beta Cross Trainer would have just been like, bop, and you would have had a surge of torque, and it would have just pulled you right through the obstacle. So that's what I mean by the difference. This thing is like explosive. The Beta Cross Trainer is more four-stroke torque-ish, which is better for beginner riders and riders that want to do trial stuff. And obviously, if you're a trials rider, you're a lot better than me. I wonder how he's going to make on that one. That's going to be a tricky one for him. Other than that, it seems like the fit and finish of both bikes are about the same. It's very high quality. Everything seems very high quality on these bikes. You can't really go wrong with either. Like I was saying in my previous video, if I would have bought the Beta instead of the KTM, I would have been none the wiser, and that would have been fine. I would have loved it. I think the best answer is go ride both of them if you can. That the only problem with saying that though is not a lot of people can go out and ride both bikes. You have to go to factory ride days and stuff, and there aren't a lot of that around. Here's the problem I've noticed is, and like me also, it took me years of riding and spending money to figure out what kind of rider I am, and that's really the tricky part. And I'm trying to keep brand loyalty out of this as much as I can, but then you also have color choice too. Do you like red bikes or orange bikes? Both bikes are very good looking, gorgeous. So, I don't know. For me, I think my final conclusion to this is absolutely happy with my purchase on the KTM 300. If the seat height was lowered an inch, I would be even happier with it. That's not going to work. Let me do it this way. The reason why I'm happy with this bike for me is because it suits my riding style. It's more aggressive, and that's just really that. And I prefer orange. I like the color orange over red. It's a silly thing, but literally, that's all that there's in it. This bike is a little bit more aggressive. Well, a lot more aggressive on the top end, and it's orange. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm not entirely sure what else I'm going to talk about, but we got several miles to go, and yeah, I'm going to talk about something. So, yeah, catch y'all next week. Peace.